Welcome to the world of Gazette.
Today, we are going to study together about the approaches to software design.
Software is the program and other operating information used by a computer. For example, Excel, Windows, Linux, etc.
Yes, software. It is the instruction that tell a computer what to do. That is, all computers are total idiots. They are not smart. They cannot think for themselves. They can only do what we tell them, no more and no less. But they can do it incredibly quickly. That means that when we write the program, it has to be incredibly detailed. Software comprises the entire set of programs, procedures, and routines associated with the operation of a computer system. The term was coined to differentiate these instructions from hardware, that is, the physical components of a computer system.
Why is software needed?
Software provides the means for accomplishing many different tasks with the same basic hardware. Practical computer systems divide software systems into two major classes. First one is system software, which helps to run the computer hardware, and second one is computer system itself.
Why is it called software?
The word software was first used in the late 1960s to emphasize on its difference from computer hardware, which can be physically observed by the user. Software is a set of instructions that the computer follows.
How is software created?
A software is made by writing some lines in an encoded language called programming language, where the code makes a GUI where a user can interact and a backend where the processing can be done.
Can we classify software?
Yes, software can be classified into two: system software and application software. Here, system software is general purpose software which is used to operate computer hardware. It provides platform to run application softwares.
Can you say some examples for system software?
Yes, examples of system software include operating systems like Mac OS, GNU or Linux, Android and Microsoft Windows, computational science software, game engines, industrial automation, and software as a service applications. Next, application software. It is specific purpose software which is used by user for performing specific tasks. Examples for this include Microsoft's suite of products like Office, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, Outlook, etc. Second one is internet browsers like Firefox, Safari, and Chrome. Third one is mobile pieces of software such as Pandora, which is used for music appreciation, Skype for real-time online communication, and Slack for team collaboration.
Can you tell us about software design?
Yes, software design is the process of defining software methods, functions, objects, and the overall structure and interaction of your code so that the resulting functionality will satisfy your user's requirements. Design allows you do the best abstraction. It allows you to understand the requirements better, meet them better. Design prevents redundancy and increases reusability. Design is also the best approach to mitigate the risks you have no idea about. Design allows not only to find out how the software product is going to look, but also allows both software owners and developers to realize how it's going to function. Therefore, a software design must combine functionality, informativeness, and simplicity so that even a child could use the app without the need to learn. That's what makes up an intuitive app design. Do you know the design process of system software?
Yes. The design process for software systems often has two levels. At the first levels, the focus is on deciding which modules are needed for the systems on the basis of SRC, that is software requirement specification, and then the modules should be interconnected.
It tries to specify how to fulfill the requirements mentioned in SRS document.
Next, we will discuss about the approaches to software design. There are two fundamentally different approaches to software design that are in use today. First one is function-oriented design and second is object-oriented design. Though these two design approaches are radically different, they are complementary rather than competing techniques.
Yes, the object oriented approach is a relatively newer technology and is still evolving. For development of large programs, the object oriented approach is becoming increasingly popular due to certain advantages that it offers. On the other hand, functional oriented designing is a mature technology and has a large following.
What are the salient features of the function oriented design approach?
First one is top down decomposition. Here, starting at a high level view of the system, each high level function is successively refined into more detailed functions.
Can you give an example?
For example, consider a function create new library member which essentially creates the record for a new member, assigns a unique membership number to him and prints a bill towards his membership charge. This high level function may be refined into the following subfunctions: assigns membership number, create member record, print bill. Each of these subfunctions may be split into more detailed subfunctions and so on. The second salient feature is centralized system state.
Yes, I have heard of it. The system state can be defined as the values of certain data items that determines as the response of the system to a user action at external event. For example, the set of books, that is, whether borrowed by different user are available for issue, determine the state of a library automation system. Such data is procedural programs usually have global scope and are shared by many modules.
Yes, the system state is centralized and shared among different functions. For example, in the library management system, several functions such as the following share data such as member records for reference and updation. First one is create new member, second one is delete member, third one is update member record.
Can you explain about object oriented design?
In the object oriented design approach, that is OOD approach, a system is viewed as being made up of a collection of objects, that is entities. Each object is associated with a set of functions that are called as methods. Each object contains its own data and is responsible for managing it. The data internal to an object cannot be accessed directly by other objects and only through invocation of the methods of the objects. The system state is decentralized since there is no globally shared data in the system and data is stored in each object.
Can you give an example for this?
Yes, in a library automation software, each library member may be a separate object with its own data and functions to operate on the stored data. The methods defined for one object cannot directly refer to or change the data of other objects.
Object decompose a system into functionally independent modules. Object can also be considered as instances of abstract data types, that is ADTs. What are the important concepts associated with an ADT?
There are three important concepts associated with an ADT: data abstraction, data structure, and data type. The principle of data abstraction implies that how data is exactly stored is abstracted away. A data structure is constructed from a collection of primitive data items. And a data type is a programming language terminology that refers to anything that can be instantiated. Did you know the advantages of ADT?
Yes. First one is the data of objects are encapsulated within the methods. The encapsulation principle is also known as the data hiding. Second, an ADT based design displays high cohesion and low coupling. Therefore, object oriented designs are highly modular. Since the principles of abstraction is used, it makes the design solution easily understandable and helps to manage complexity.
We will differentiate FOD and OOD.
Yes.
In FOD approach, the state information is often represented in a centralized shared memory.
In object-oriented design approach, the state information is not represented in a centralized memory, but is implemented or distributed among the object of the system.
In FOD, we decompose in function or procedure level.
In object-oriented design, we decompose in class level.
FOD is top-down approach.
Object-oriented is a bottom-up approach.
FOD begins by considering the use case diagrams and scenarios.
Object-oriented design begins by identifying objects and classes.
FOD approach is mainly used for computation-sensitive application.
Whereas object-oriented design approach is mainly used for evolving system which mimics a business process at business case.
Next, we will discuss a case study.
The owner of a large multi-storied buildings want to have a computerized free alarm system designs developed and installed in his building. Smoke detectors and fire alarms would be placed in each room. If the fire alarm system would monitor the state of these smoke detectors whenever a fire condition is repeated by any of the smoke detectors. The fire alarm system should determine the location at which the fire has been sensed and then shoot the alarm only in the neighboring locations. The fire alarm system should also flash an alarm message on the computer console. Firefighting personnel.
This problem can be modeled in two ways, using function-oriented design approach and using object-oriented approach. First, we will design this with FOD. For developing a function-oriented design, first we have to identify the function, then we have to identify the global variable. Here, functions will modify the global variables, that is the function-oriented design strategy. This is the design for function-oriented design for an automated fire alarm system. In this design, we have identified multiple global variables to store the state and multiple functions. So these global variables are storing the system state and functions are performing the required action. The identified functions are interrogate detectors, get detector location, determine neighbor, ring alarm, reset alarm and report fire location. The global data to be stored here are detector status, which is designed as an array, then detector location, alarm status, alarm location and neighbor alarm. In the case of object-oriented design, we have to look for the object involved in this problem. This is the object-oriented design for the automated fire alarm system. Here, we are identifying the classes, what are the types of objects involved in this problem. Here, different types of objects involved. We should be able to at least identify a detector class and an alarm class. If we see the class should have its own data and its own function. For the detector, we should have at least status, location and neighbors. These three will be the data elements for the detector. And the operations allowed on these data elements are create, sense status, get location, find neighbors. So we have one detector class. In each row, we will install particular smoke sensors. Those are instance of this detector class. So objects of type detectors are our sensors and those sensors we will install in each row. Next class is alarm. Alarm is a type. Each alarm should have its location, status, that is nothing but the data, and its operations are create, ring alarm, get location and reset. The key points remembered in the case of object-oriented programming and function-oriented programming is that in function-oriented programming, we will look for the function and the another thing is that the state is centrally stored. That means in function-oriented design, you store the state in the global variables that is accessible to all functions. Whereas in the case of object-oriented programming or object-oriented design, the state of each detector is stored in its own object only. That means state is distributed. In the case of a fire alarm, the state is stored within the object only. In object-oriented design, the state is decentralized. In function-oriented design, state is centralized. We will discuss more on this topic on another session.
For PDF of this session and more study materials, you can join us on Telegram. Thanks for watching.
Have a nice day.